I'm well, thank you for having me. I noticed you were discussing earlier um,
Uh,
We've discussed a lot.
It's gonna say,
Christianity
It's been
and
a
no
spicy
birth
stream.
weight. Was I right, or maybe I misremembered? Perhaps I
What do you?
see these things when they're not even being discussed.
Well, maybe in the chat. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was trying to make the point that there is only one Abrahamic God. So, um, why are we arguing so much about it? Because, if we wanted to worship a God, we would want to worship the most powerful God, right? And actually, it's a fact, isn't it, that Jews, Christians, and Muslims worship the same Abrahamic God. So really, there shouldn't be so much fighting over this simple proposition.
Well, the problem is people can get rather tyrannical about their beliefs and the social consequences of those beliefs. So if, whether it's Torah law or Sharia law or Christian morality, um, you know, my Catholic friends love getting involved in everyone's bedroom activities, as do most Christians. And see, this is the thing: is you can have a religion that says that tries to be something for everybody and says nothing, right? And nobody's interested in that.
Which is Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm. Which flavor of Christianity you're talking about? I mean, if you
Well,
you want Doug Wilson's, you want a hard Christianity, go to Doug Wilson. He'll tell you exactly how it goes.
but surely it shouldn't be for just any Christian to say this is Christianity with no, Christian leaders to say no. You can't just say stuff about Christianity and expect it to be true and for no one to contradict you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we allowed to say whatever we want about our religion without being
I don't know
called
if there is.
heretic?
I'm still unsure if there is a single Christianity. I mean, it's too diverse.
Well, yes,
With
but isn't that the problem? I mean, if anybody can say, "Hey, I'm a Christian," did somebody yawn?
yeah.
So I think it was Teo. You were yawning because you were just saying anybody can just come in and say, "I'm a Christian. I believe this," and well, that's my Christianity. And if you don't agree with me, then but what's the point of having a religion like that?
to take over the rest of the religion, right? I mean, that would be
No,
like
but once upon a time, there was a leader, and there were people who say stuff, and were respected because they were the Pope, they were the
So that's why
Archbishop
I'm
of
taking
Canterbury.
seriously the one true church.
I'm sorry,
That's why I'm looking into the one true church.
but it's been wasn't it defeated by the Protestants
Not
in the wars of the
no, it's
Reformation?
standing. It's standing and it's stronger than ever. There are more Catholics than there have ever been in the history of humanity.
Well, it didn't help the South Americans. They're not the ones in running the world.
I would make the argument that Christianity has always been multicultural.
Oh
Right?
yes, I mean I wouldn't
Before Rome took
universal
over,
religion.
it was a bunch of different patriarchies all running their churches, and every now and again they'd come together and they say, "Hey, we got this problem. Like, how are you guys handling it?" Right? And this is why you have such an extreme difference between the Orthodox and the flavor of Christianity through the way that I know the tradition is that St. Thomas went to India and introduced Christianity in southern India. And the Christianity in Africa it's always been multicultural. That's
I never
the
said it
most amazing.
wasn't.
But you're saying that we don't have a leader. We do
Yeah,
have a
you
leader.
don't. I
It's
mean, well,
Christ.
Well, but
in
neither does
theory, you
Islam.
have the Pope, but nobody, the Pope
Right.
submits to the liberal order. I mean, this is what the
But
Pope
see,
does.
there is no single leader of anything. There's no single leader of Islam. There's no
No,
single leader of atheism.
but I'm well aware of that, but I think the Shias in Iran have done better to make Islam work for them than the Sunnis. I mean,
Have
if you
they?
divide everybody into little groups, and you can see who's,
Gonna go eat
to,
dinner.
All right, Scott.
Bye.
Have a good night. Thanks for
Hi,
partying.
Scott.
Hi,
I'm
Scott.
sorry we can't have this
Have a good night.
conversation.
The
You're
yeah, I've
boring.
got to wrap up anyway. But it's I'm not convinced that it's worked. The jury, I would say the jury's still out. They just had to violently repress a popular uprising before Trump and Israel started bombing them again.
Well, well, this is a propaganda, but I mean, does America have the right to bomb anyone they like?
I'd say there's two separate issues, though. That you have the issue, the issue of an uprising, and I don't think a regime is successful because if it has to kill tens of thousands of its own people to keep itself in power,
But
that's
this is
deeply traumatic.
disputed. I mean, there's always been, anti-Muslim propaganda all the time, and of course, I guess if we're in the West, we're expected to believe in it. Like they deserve to be bombed because they're Muslim, because they're not one of us, and they have oil, and we want it. We want it.
Well, I'm the last person to defend the current administration, and my attitude is. I've been pretty clear about my attitude about how America
I don't
should
mean
conduct
just
itself.
you, Doug. I mean, if you were MAGA, you'd also be pretty disappointed in Trump.
Actually, that's my
Because
middle name. Douglas is my middle name, so she did not misname me. I used to go by Doug.
did I say Doug? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you did. Well, that's
I
funny.
wasn't.
That's funny. No, it's
Yes.
very funny. I
Yes,
just
I
got
think
dead.
I
I got
heard.
dead named Tayo. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. No, look. I can't defend it.
No, I don't
But
even
also, I
expect.
think we need to be honest though about the
Flibbers
levels
can.
of. Say again, Tayo.
Flibbers is defending it.
Oh, Phlebas is all right.
Yeah,
Well,
I wish.
what does a Canadian know about American foreign policy? Puh.
He knows a lot about Muslims invading his countries. From
Oh,
his
I see. Is that what he's saying? Okay. I wasn't paying attention to the chat very well.
Well, I wish Phlebas would actually engage, since he has such an awful lot to say about the thing.
Yeah,
But
no one wants to play with you, and it's not them, it's you.
yeah, I know it's me. I mean, obviously, I think it's a problem if Westerners do not have an official moral system that they can say, oh, this is what we're supposed to believe as, Christians, and this is what we're supposed to do. And so we can hold each other accountable for our behavior if we say we're Christians. But, it's something I've noticed that Christians don't like discussing. They don't want to say what it means to be Christian, or what the, what
I've
the
said
principles of
repeatedly. I've told you
Christianity are.
repeatedly what it means to be
It
Christian.
doesn't matter.
We've had lots of talks.
She doesn't listen. You can speak
Okay,
to
remind me again. What does it mean to be Christian?
Don't bother. It's not.
No,
Are you answering
I've said start out with, if you just, I mean, it takes a little work to think it through, but I think if you want it very concisely said, you can start with Micah chapter 6, verse 8. The Lord has already told you what to do, to be just, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. That's for starters. And you can chew on that for a little bit, but that's where it begins. And then I would say then, from there, if you're still interested in finding out what it is to be Christian, then move on to Matthew chapters 5 through 7 and work through those. methodically, and you'll learn in those chapters. You'll learn about how Jesus values I should say, what Jesus values, and how it opposes what the world values. And it will show you how to act towards your enemies and towards your friends. It will tell you he will tell you what in those passages, what a marriage is supposed to look like, the nature of God. I mean, it's all pretty much there if you want to limit your reading. I mean, you can read all the Gospels, but those are two very good places to start about what it means to be a Christian, and that will carry you a lifetime if all you did were meditate on those two passages, Micah 6:8 and Matthew chapters 5-7. That will last you a lifetime if you just practice those, and that will and you will be a Christian in good standing. You may not be a Christian in everybody's good standing, but I think the Pope would consider you to be a good Christian if you lived by those.
Is this
passages.
the Catholic expression of Christianity, or your own special one?
I would say I think you find it very much in the Catholic tradition. Catholic tradition will have you do other things that make it unique to itself, and they have their practices have a historical context. And but I think this is a form of Christianity that fits well across the board within. I thought if you do those things, if you look at those passages and live according to those passages, I don't think you're going to find yourself in much trouble with any major branch of Christianity, Protestant, Orthodox, Catholic. You'll be fine. You'll be well respected, I guarantee you, if you just live by those passages. You won't offend Paul Van
Right,
Clay.
I suppose, as long as we're not criminals.
What do you mean criminals?
As long as we're not, criminals breaking the law, I guess, we should be okay. But, maybe...
Well, I mean, there's things...
With the law.
I'm not sure what the criminal part, how's that play in? And I'm really running close on time. Can you say it quickly?
Okay, well, I mean, obviously there are lots of laws that we don't quite agree with, that are in existence, and I'm just, making the point that, certain things should be obvious, but it isn't, and therefore quite a few of the laws are controversial, such as maybe unisex toilets, no fault divorce, that kind of thing.
But see, these
marriage.
are particulars that a society. I think a society of Christians who were living according to the two passages I brought up to you. I think if you had a church or community who was living in accordance with those values, then they would have no problem sorting out that business, and you may have two separate communities doing equally well, drawing different conclusions about what to do with unisex toilets. I don't think it tells you what's right or wrong. I think what the attitude is a person who needs to use the toilet should be able to use the toilet in peace. So how do we help them do that? We have a limited number of toilets between us. So, okay, well, are we going to allow the public to use our toilets? And then we'll have to sort that out. And there's a way to do that, and a right way to do that, and a wrong way to do that. The wrong way to do that is to alienate, call names, belittle, that sort of thing. The right way to do that is respectfully and say, let me hear you out, hear this other person out. Yeah, I'm a liberal who went to a very conservative church. Let me finish real quick.
Transgenderism, is that your intention? Do you think it's a good idea?
No, let me finish my thought, though.
To encourage people to change their sex and sterilize themselves?
Hold on. I was a liberal who went to a conservative church for a very long time, and I worked hard to help that conservative church succeed as a conservative church. And I did so because I'm a Christian who thinks conservative people need a church to go to too. I don't believe in making the church necessarily look like me. And I think that's also part of my Christian values. Now, it's the you can people take drastic measures to deal with drastic situations, and I'm really slow. As this is one of the reasons I respect the Pope and the papacy. I mean, the Vatican, the modern Vatican, anyway. These days, because it's very slow to judge, and they're very measured in the actions they take. They don't rush to judgment. They take their time to make a decision on big issues. And whereas you'll find some preachers who are kind of freelancing out there, they just pop off on their opinions, and they don't think through all the consequences, or they don't try to understand why people would decide to do what they do, whether it's to have a double mastectomy at age 17 or something.
Surely
But
you can't approve of that, Mark.
it's not. No, I'm not approve or disapprove. It's not. Some of this is some of it's, as I understand it, I try to be educated about these things, and they see it as a medical solution to a medical problem or psychiatric problem. And they're taking the measure to, hold on. I'm not trying to, hold on. See, they think they're saving a life. Okay?
I know that they're using,
But these are not people who do not care.
justifying it for medical reasons. Yes?
Some of the people involved in decision making are parents. Some of them are doctors. Some of the patients themselves. And they're acting in a way that they're trying to intervene to save a life, either or to make life livable for the patient. Now, I'm not involved with the regulatory agencies who govern these things. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not the parent of these of one of these people. So
But if you did, would you be okay about hormone treatment before the child is even adult? Is a child able to make these decisions?
Yeah,
go ahead. And I got 2 minutes, guys.
yes, that's perfect. I was just gonna step in to say Mark has to go soon and my final words, because that's what we're going to do now. We're going to give our final words. My final word is, can someone please just clip out the section where Mark gave a beautiful answer to what a Christian is, right before Claire turned
without mentioning the Trinity.
Right before Claire turned it into a question about gender bathrooms, Mark gave a very concise, and I want someone to clip that and send it to McMo to put McMo beat over it.
Will I be entitled to a last word?
Yes, please. Give me your last word. 30 seconds.
Thank you. So the last word on this would be, if you think you were born in the wrong body, you're actually saying God, if he exists, put you in the wrong body. But if you did believe in God, you wouldn't presume to say such a thing, would you? You wouldn't say, oh, God, in a fit of absent-mindedness, put me in the wrong body with the wrong sex organs, and therefore I have to go and change my sex and sterilize myself and be lost to, becoming a potential married parent, which is, I see, devastating the Western labor force. Because a lot of the immigration and fear and hatred of Muslims is because they see Muslims as the group of immigrants that they feel most hate and fear of. So I'm saying it's all related.
Okay. Yeah. Let me give you my last thought, and I'll directly respond to what you said about the wrong body business. For whatever mysterious reason, nature does seem to make mistakes that we feel the need to respond to. I've met and known of people. It's not totally uncommon. Children born with I can't remember the name of the disease anymore, but it's a broken glass or something. Their body, their bones break. They're very brittle bone disease, and the bones just, they have microfractures constantly in their body. So they live they live in wheelchairs, and their bodies look very distorted, and their lives are very, very painful. This is the body they're born into. It's nobody in their right mind thinks it's evil to try to help alleviate them of that pain and suffering, if it were possible. Unfortunately, we don't have the technology yet to solve that problem. I think some people experience similar levels of pain of a different nature, maybe more psychological. There may be better solutions than what are currently at play. But it's who am I to judge? I always am encouraging people to, do less, but wait more and do less. But it's, again, not for me to judge. It's just, everybody's got the burden that they have to carry, and you can frame it theologically and say God made a mistake. Some people do. I just approach it more as a mystery and say, well, you find yourself in this is a human body in a certain set of circumstances, and it's for all of us to respond in a godly way to the circumstances. And part of my godly response is, I may not agree with your solution to the problem, but I'm still obliged to love you, care for you, respect you, and not burden you further with my opinions. You're living in the body you're living in, and you're enduring as best you can endure, and I will help you endure if at all possible. I'm definitely not going to try to make the burden heavier, which is what I think a lot of politics does around this sort of thing. I would rather us not politicize it and just deal with the suffering and as best we can. But that has to be the last word. And unfortunately, it's a topic that really begs to be discussed for many hours more, Claire. So I appreciate you bringing it up.
I accept your last word. Thank you for having me, Mark, and thank you for this stream.
Always. All right. God bless everyone. Have a good night.